Hello. Right, this workout is a legs, bums and Tums workout, doing exactly what it says in the tin. So we're going to work our legs and our ass and our abs. You don't need anything apart from your body weight. That is it. There's minimal breaks, but of course you can take more if you need to. So we're just going to start with some body weight squats. Feet a bit wide on the hips. Push your hips down and back, so straight into it. Now notice my range. I'm not going deep into the squat just yet. Your muscles are not warm, so you just easing yourself in like you sit back in a chair, but not going into like as fully deep as you can go yet. So just first few minutes is just really just to get the body moving, the body warming up. Let's come into good morning. So feet come underneath the hips, fingertips on the temples. Push your hips back and stand forwards. So hips push back and then we stand. So from the side, hips push away, stand up tall. So it's not this one about how far your chest tips forward like this, but it's more about how far you can push your booty backwards. So you're going to feel a stretch down the backs of your legs and your hamstrings and in your bum. If it's too intense of a stretch, don't come as far. You're just easing in. Nice, perfect. Go into a curtsy squat, alternating sides. So you're going to step behind, push your hips back, and then switch other side. So one leg goes right behind the other, and then you're going to push your hips back. Look at this. So it goes behind, your bum pushes evenly backwards, and you're going to start to feel this more in the butt. Oh, look at that mad skill. Did you see that turning I just did? Twice. Nice, then come do a squat again, and then lifting your legs to the side and slightly behind. So now your legs are getting a little bit warmer. If you feel you can squat a little bit deeper, then start to. If you're not quite ready for it yet, then ease your way in. Just go a little bit deeper each time. Heart rate should be rising. Body should be feeling warmer. I started in my hoodie. That's going to be coming off soon. Nice, perfect. So you're going to go do a good morning. Feet under the hips. And then lift your legs to the side and slightly back. Good morning again. Other side. Bam. So it's warming at the back of the body, the side of your butt. The back of the body and the side of your butt. So take the legs slightly behind rather than here, because it tends to be otherwise a lot of people come forward. So that's more the hip. What about the side of the bum? Nice, come into a curtsy squat. So you're going to do the right leg and then lift to the side. Stick to the same side the whole time. So one leg goes behind the other and then lift to the side. It's funny what everyone means with right leg. For me, it means my right leg's not moving. For a lot of means the other. It doesn't really matter what you choose to do as long as obviously you do the other side after. Start to get your knee a little bit closer to the floor if you can. Hopefully you feel a bit of heat coming into your legs. And then switch to the side. It says, right again, that's a mistake my end. Oh, so not like me to make a little bit of an admin error. You know when you apply for a job and then you say, I'm going to have great attention to detail, and then you do something like make a spelling mistake or don't attach, CV attach, and don't attach. And I'm like, oh, well. It's been a long time since I had to apply for a job, thankfully. Right, we're going to do some workouts. We're going to do a triple squat pulse. So you're in 3, 2, 1, and then lift your right leg, 3, 2, 1, and again, and it's the right leg every time. So shifting into the left leg, pulsing the right. Oof, just lost my balance. So what I'm hoping now is that your legs are starting to feel quite a bit of heat come into them. That's the goal as we go through this, is they build a heat, pressure, tension, also known as it feels like it's burning a bit. Bum, 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 bum. That is such a tune. Na, 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 na. So your squat, make sure you're pushing your booty right back. So it's right back behind you, not just hinging forward or just bending the knees. Right, so now we need to have your right leg forward. Your left leg is going to go back, and you're going to tap in, tap back, tap in, tap back, tap in, tap back. Quite pacily. So a little bit of speed to the movement. I'll show you from the side. The goal is the long step back, and you're tapping in without standing up. So we're not lunging, we're just staying in this held position and just moving the leg back and forth. The deeper the knee bend, the more you're going to work your leg. I personally go for runner's arms because it helps them with balance. Also, kind of think, I'm about to say it kind of looks badass, and you might be looking at me like, Helen. But, you know, badass, choppy arms. But you can have your hands up the way, you can have them anywhere really, but just try and bend your right leg as deeply as you can. Is it burning yet here in the thigh or in the bum? I hope. I'm going to come to the side. Nice. And then you're going to just lift, bending the knee, and then pull the knee back in towards the hip. So you're going to point the toes up towards the ceiling and then return the knees together. So we've hinged forwards. So you're balanced on one leg the whole time. If you really need to hold on a little bit for balance, then do. If you can, don't. Even if it means you're a little bit more wobbly. In my opinion, it's better to also work on your balance during a workout because that's the only way your balance will improve. So knees going up and down. The goal here is trying not to arch through your back. So as you lift the leg, try not to arch like this. So keep your pelvis tucked under. And even though your left leg's moving at the moment, it should be the right leg that's supporting you, that's also feeling a major burn in the bum, especially being in this hinged position. Bum, bum, bum. And I'm going to pulse. So you're going to take the leg up, and you're going to do little pulse, little pulse, little pulse, little pulse, little pulse. Teeny tiny movements. So again, you're supporting and balancing this leg. It's absolutely going to burn, maybe even more than the left leg. Mine definitely is. This one, you're squeezing your bum to lift it and move it. Lift it and moving. So if you haven't got both, think you're just maybe squeezing one leg harder than the other. So it's hard. It's literally like thinking about clenching. If you can't feel the clench, poke the bum, poke the bum, poke the bum. Yeah, don't be worried at all if it's your right leg that's burning more. We already got it tied in the repeater knees. So it should be kind of the most engaged. So yeah, the right bum should be probably the burniest bit, but you still want to make sure, again, active squeeze on the left button. I wonder how long I just talked about that for. Now it's coming to squats. So just squatting down and up. Trying to squat evenly down, even though you're probably feeling a little bit wonky. We're using the squats now as a recovery. How is your range compared to how it was at the start? Any better? I know everything's a bit more tired, but does it also feel like you can squat a bit deeper? Just thinking, the lower you squat, within your own range, the more of the muscle you work. I'd say within your own range, you may not be able to go so low. That might mean it causes you potential injury if you're kind of not mobile enough, not flexible enough, potentially not strong enough. So it's wherever you feel is the deepest you can squat. The eventual target is kind of getting the butt in line with the knees, or thighs roughly parallel to the floor. This was nice, yeah? This is quite nice. We've got a minute, 1 minute of squat pulsing at the bottom. So you just come down and pulse and pulse and pulse and pulse. So watching, chest is slightly up. You can kind of see the logo on my top, but you don't want to be looking forward because that causes the back tends to arch. What's happening here is the hips are sitting back and down like this, rather than the knees and the hips coming forward and back like this. So your knees aren't initiating the move. If you were to picture actually sitting on a chair here and just lifting up an inch, let the butt tap down, lifting up an inch, let the butt tap down. That is your pulse. So it comes from the hips rather than the forward and back motion. How's the bed? I just stood up. I've got 20 seconds to go. I think I'm ready. Da 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 da. Whoa! You're getting much more than you paid for. Bam, bam. Ba-da-da-bam, bam. Sorry. Nice. Coming up. Whoa. Little shake. Let's do it all again on the other side. So you're going down. 3, 2, 1. Balance on the right leg, left leg to the side. We go 3 and 2 and 1. We're going to do one more round of this. And the good news is, then we're done with the standing. Hey, not bad. Bam, bam, bam. Check your leg when you lift it. Again, it's going slightly behind, heading not all the way back, just slightly behind. So the knees, if you were to draw a line out, it's just slightly behind, so it's not totally level. And when you squat, try to squat really evenly and not just wonking over like that onto one leg. Oh, it's cool because I can already feel that my left bum is about to catch up with the righty, and that was Bernie. So to repeat to these, so this time we're going to do a left leg forward, bent, the right leg taps back and in, back and in, back and in. Bam, 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 bam. So keeping the left knee over the ankle throughout the whole time. It's not moving forward and back. Your left knee is bent as much as you can, and the right foot just tapping back, lightly back and in. So it's pretty much that you're balancing on your left leg, and your right leg is just moving around. Every time you move around, the body always wants to be still. So when you add movement to something, it's something like constantly working to correct. So this is why we're trying to move quite fast. Oops. And why do we move low? To work more of the muscle. What's funny is sometimes I think when I'm filming on here and no one talks to me, I'm like, oh, does it compare? How does it compare? If I was in a gym, no one talks to me then either. Standing doggy kick. So you're going to balance on your left leg. Hinge forward. Take the right leg up and back. Return the knees together. Oops, that's the balance. Get it back. Return together. Back. Return together. So because the biggest focus is the legs and the bum, if you absolutely cannot do one without falling over, totally fine. Today, maybe just hold on to second balance. However, I also think that's the sign you need to work on your balance. And then even when we're really wobbling, fine, we're not necessarily going for the main thing that was my target, my goal, but you're still working in a different way. Bam, 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 bam. My balance used to be absolutely terrible. And then Ross used to call me Pinball because I used to kind of fall over all the time. You ready for pulse? Lift the leg up, pulse it. Little pulse, little pulse, little pulse. By the way, your lifted foot, the toes can be pointed or it can be flexed. Oh, for balance, totally. It can be flexed, it doesn't really matter, but it's just more thinking about like your foot going up and up and up towards the ceiling. Yeah, I always used to call me Pinball because how much I fell over. Then I started working my balance. And now I'm like, I just fell over. I was about to say, now I'm like so stable and balanced. Oh dear. I'm more talking about in day-to-day life though, rather than in a balancing thing. God, do you like my chat? Do you like how I think something and then it just comes out my mouth and then you get to enjoy it too? Welcome to my life. Might have said this before because I think it all the time. The thing that comes in my brain the most, other than songs, is how fat pigeons are now. Right, we're squatting down and up. Whoa. Enjoy the squat. Right, if you would like a slight change of stance, just take your feet a heel and a toe wider and go for a sumo squat. That's going to get a little bit more of your inner thighs as well. If you're more comfortable with a regular squat, stick with that. But if you're here, your knee's going to push out further, but your hips are still pushing backwards. So we're not ever just bending the knees. We are pushing the bum backwards. That will also help take pressure out of your knees if you do find you're a person that's got knee pain, knee issues. Do you know what? Do you remember what's after this? Question to you. Did you manage the whole of the last minute to squat and pulse without standing up? If you did, can you do it a second time? Maybe can you go lower? If you didn't, this is your chance. This is effort 2 of 2. Can you do the entire minute at the bottom of the range? You ready? Let's see. Squat and pulse and pulse and pulse and pulse. So try not to bounce really, 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 really fast. It's like down, little way up, down, little way up. We're controlling both the moves. Your legs should be burning. And you just want to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. See if you can take at least 2 pulses to breathe in, 2 pulses to breathe out. Maybe you can elongate that more, make it 3 and 3. The more oxygen you get in, the less the burn. If you're still managing to hold, see if you can push more pressure into your feet, into the floor. So like I've got the carpet between, like I'm trying to rip that into 2 pieces and spread it apart the room. Less than 10 seconds. Can you go a little bit lower? A little bit lower. A little bit lower. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Come down to the floor. We're going to lie on our backs. There's no break. We don't need a break. Feet are going to be hip width apart. You're just going to squeeze your butt, lift your hips in 1 hip bridge, tuck your chin, lift your chest, 1 crunch. So lifting the hips up and down, crunch up and down. Now your hip bridge, you're going to squeeze your booty before you lift off the floor, and then at the top even harder. The crunch, tuck your chin in, and then just think about peeling your shoulders and then maybe even your shoulder blades away from the floor. It's not, however, your entire back. So this is a sit-up. This is a half sit coming part way up, and a crunch is where your lower back and kind of mid-back stays in contact. It's just the upper back, shoulders down to shoulder blades that lifts off the floor. So it really targets kind of the upper part of the abs. That's where you're going to feel the biggest burn. Yes, the abs. We are blitzing through this. We've done all the standing stuff already. 5 pulses of each. So you lift your hips. Pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. Tuck your chin. Crunch up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A bit like we did the squat pulses. It's not bam, 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 throwing yourself around. You're squeezing and controlling the slow, controlled little squeezes and pulses. I lost count. Bam, bam. With the hip bridge, if you're feeling it more on your thighs, front or back, just play with changing the position of your feet. And maybe don't lift as high. With the crunch, if you find you're getting your lower back off, try moving your heels in as close as they can go, and I guarantee you won't be able to come up much higher than the full crunch. Let's go to single leg hip bridge. So lift 1 knee up, and you're going to lift, keep the leg up, crunch up. We're going to stick to the same side. So we just lift up, crunch up. Lift your hips, lift the upper body. Now, if it's too much doing a single leg hip bridge, just instead of lifting the foot, just lift 1 heel. So you're just lightly pushing through the foot, and then maybe if you can, you still lift the knee up as you crunch. It's going to start working a little bit more kind of imbalanced in the body. We need to train ourselves to be wonky. If you want a bit more, extend the leg up to the ceiling. So you lift, and then see if you can reach up like you're trying to touch the toes. So lifting up and down, crunching up and down. Just seeing how much of my floor I've got on the angle. And now I've got my face. This is probably going to be offered to me as a thumbnail now. Right, just switch your legs over. So the other leg, you do 1 hip bridge. So knee bent, knee lifted, up to you, and then 1 crunch, either reaching up or up. But squeeze the booty and squeeze the abs. Squeeze the booty and squeeze the abs. If you have got the left lifted, recommend not so much out here. This is still going in your thighs and your hips, but I would like the weight to be over your bum. So the knee over the bum if you can, bent or straight. Your neck, if your neck is getting tired, 1, don't be surprised. You're having to hold your head up using your neck muscles. But It does come with practice, but if you do need to, just very, very, very lightly support with your hands. So lightly, so you still have to do some work with the neck muscles. You're just giving it just a little assist so that's not the most painful part of the workout. It doesn't say legs, bums, tums, and neck, does it? Nice, right, we're going to do 5 alternating single leg hip bridge pulses and then you just switch. So lift your hips up, pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, hold the hips up, switch your legs, and then pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up, switch your legs. If you need less, come down in between each one and then go. Or again, you can have just the heel lifts, switch heel, switch the pressure from one leg into the other. And again, you can have the leg all the way up here if you'd rather. So work into where you feel like, oh, that's the hardest on my butt. Bam, 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 bam. Becoming aware of one strong bum, one weak bum maybe, or maybe they're both exactly the same. Maybe one, you start feeling it, the workout shift someone that's not the bum. Oh my God, look at the itches knee. Nice, and then pop the feet down, tuck your chin in, and crunch up. Pulse, little lift, little lift, little lift, little lift. We are going for a minute, trying to stay at the top. If your neck's straining, again, just very, very light with the fingertips. If you want a little bit more, extend your legs. If you want a bit more again, extend your legs further. They don't need to be down here, but just extend to about 45. You're going to feel loads of weight pulling downwards on your abs as you're also trying to lift up and crunch. But any option is good, whichever you decide to do. Just try and make it slow and squeezy. Slow and squeezy, not bouncy. And if you notice your shoulders touch the floor, break, come back in again. Grab your thighs to pull yourself high and then try and stay right there. You're so close. Nice one. Hip bridge pulses. Let's work the booty, lift the hips. So it's both feet on the floor now. Clench your bum so hard. Same concept in that you're trying to make it slow. You're not bouncing. The squeezy is constantly clenching your bum. Constantly clenching your bum. Like kind of squeezing some lime juice out. Why do I always have to try and give an example of something that gets squeezed between your butt? One time I went with chocolate. Don't know if you've done that video. That was a mistake. You're in control on this, on how hard your bum burns. So if it's not burning much at all, really think about physically clenching your butt harder. Clench it, clench it, clench it, and then putting more pressure down into the floor for the entirety of your foot, so your heels and the ball of your foot. Oh yeah, get the bum to burn, burn, burn. Burn on fire. Now we're just going to hold the crunch up. So chin, hold. Breathe in, breathe out. See if you can hold high. Maybe even grab your thighs, pull yourself a little bit higher, and then release there. See if you can hold there. You have the same options. If you want to come up here, you can. So legs to tabletop, not ankles crossed, but they're supporting themselves, or legs extended. You can even, if you want to intensify more, just take the arms behind. So it's completely up to you. You've got 30 seconds to go, and then we're on the home stretch. So breathe in and breathe out. Try and crunch a little bit higher. Doesn't matter if your abs are starting to shake. That's a good thing. Again, rather than holding, but you're actually all the way back down onto the floor, take a break instead so that you can come up and hold high. It's 10 more seconds. Breathe in, breathe out, a little bit higher. Yes, well done. Have a little shake. We're going to finish with a 2-minute combination. It's going to be bicep twists. So you're going to here twisting 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we'll be rolling over onto a front for mountain climbers. Plank position, pull your knee in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At a decently slow pace like that. So let's start with the mountain climbers. Come with me. Shoulders come over the wrists. Pull your knee in towards your chest. 2, 3. Keep your knees close to the floor. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. 7 maybe, 8, and 9, and 10. Then just roll over onto your backs. Grab your thighs. Fingertips to temples, you're going to extend one leg and twist, lifting your shoulders towards the opposite knee. Try not to go all the way down to your shoulders down, but you want to try and keep both shoulders off the floor. Once you have done 10, roll over and do it again. If you need less, so on here, you can do it on your knees. Pull one knee in, you just need to go around the outside of the body instead of underneath. And on the bicycle twist, instead you can start with the toes down and go with a bent knee. Bam, and bam, and bam. If that's too much, do just the legs for one round, just the upper for the other round. Something like that. But you're halfway, you've got 1 minute to go and it's completely done. I encourage you not to run your mountain climbers or kind of sprint your twists, but instead take it slow, go for range. For example, the mountain climbers, are you here? Or can you pull right between your hands? Pull right between. That extra pull, that extra inch is going to be your abs working so much harder. Breathing out every time you pull. 30 seconds to go. I've got no idea on numbers. On these, jump as high as you can. Try not to let your shoulders touch the floor. Think like there's little pins underneath. You've got to keep them away as you twist. Twist. Come on, abs. So close. I've lost count again. I've absolutely no idea. No, so my shoulders want to come down more, so I need that little break to pull up. Oh, done. Hug your knees in if you're on your back. If you're on your front, just come straight to a child's pose. If not, roll over with me. So child's pose or puppy dog pose, so it's either pushing your hips back. If that's too much pressure on your knees, just bring your hips further forward. Maybe press your chest down. You might even want to do this even if you don't find that much pressure on your knees, because it kind of gives you a good stretch of the back and of your abs as well. Did you manage to do the entire thing without breaks? That's a good question. And then coming into a lying quad stretch, and then just going to lie down on your front. Bend your right knee, grab the foot or the ankle, pull the heel towards your butt, squeeze your butt and push your hip down into the floor as you kind of pull the knee away from your hip. Feel the stretch in your thighs. You might not be able to get the heel all the way to the bum, just go as far as you can. And switch your legs. Pull in the heels, knees together if you can. Pull the knee away, push your hip down really hard into the floor. Feel the difference as you push your hips downward. Hey, you have your head to the side, you can just support your head in your hands. And then push yourself up to all fours, cat and cows, tuck your chin, arch your back, and then stretch out, that's nice. So releasing your back and releasing your abs. And coming up to 90-90. So if you were to stack your knees one side, take the top leg back, left heel kicks forward and then lean over the front leg. So it's quite separated. You've got one knee in line with the hip, the other knee in line with the hip, and as you lean over, you should feel it in the bum of the leg that's in front. Bum, 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 bum. That got worked hard. Yeah, it's an easy way to get to the other side. Just take your hands back, keep the feet as they are, and just lift the knees up and over, and you should be on the other side. Maybe you need to pull your hip back, but then lean over. If not, if you're struggling to get there, stack your knees to the left, take the right leg back, kick the left heel away, then lean forward over it. 90-90 is a really great stretch you can do for your hip mobility. So if you're not sure of it, practice on everything. Well done, we are done. If you feel you need to do any bonus stretching, of course feel free, please do. But Well done. Thank you so much for training with me. Did amazing. Hopefully that was a really good, decent burn, and you did well. Give yourself a pat on the back. That was my shoulders. Yes, really well done. Any questions, any feedback, as always, just get in touch, drop me a message. And thank you for picking me as a trainer. See you soon. Bye.